And yes, I know some of you have been reaching out, and thank those of you who have been reaching out. And I know that if you think you're like surprised at the exam result, yes, well, most people did take a hit on this exam. Most people didn't do as well as they did on the first exam, so most people did experience a drop. That's the bad news. The good news is that it's not the end of the semester. Your grades aren't set in stone. And the thing is that I do look at everything. It's not just for the lecture, but also the lab. I looked at the overall result. So again, things do seem like there was a lower average on exam 2 than in years past. So there might need to be adjustment at the very end of the semester. I can't say exactly how much because we still have to look at exam 3. If I could predict the future, I would have bought GameStop like a year ago. But again, this is why so there probably will be an adjustment. So that's the good news. And I know it's tough. It's tough for you. It's tough for everybody. And I think a lot of you, I've heard like from all different parts of the spectrum, even the A students, they're having trouble getting motivation. And it is a long year. We've had a year of this online Zoom University thing. And what I'm trying to say here is hang in there. Don't give up, okay? That's what I'm trying to get everyone to do because it's like, because I mean, when this whole pandemic started last year, I was like, okay, what I'm going to try my best to do is like get this class online and still deliver everything I promised to the students and deliver the content they need to succeed in their future careers. And this is what my goal is to just get everybody to the finish line with all of this. And again, so exam 3, what you can do is like, especially some of you have said like this is the lowest exam score I've ever had in my life. And I remember the time like I think it was taking, was it microbial physiology? But there was let me tell you a little story time. So when I was undergrad, so I took the exam, my first exam for that class. It was a 300 level class, and I thought I knocked it out of the park. And then when I got my test result back, I was like, "Whoa, I got a C minus." And what was that? So the good thing is that the professor for that class, he met with everybody to talk about the results, and I found out he told me that I had the lowest result in the whole class. And I was like shocked because I thought I had studied, I thought I did really well on that test, but he told me he basically chewed me out. He told me like, you just regurgitated everything I had on my slides and you didn't read the question correctly. You just told me like this protein does this, but I expected you to have this new hybrid protein and apply your knowledge to that. You just is like he's like you're studying like how you this would be good for an underclassman, but this is not what I expect at this level. And that was harsh. And I think most people there's going to be a time in college where you hit this wall. You realize that whatever study skills, whatever you efforts you had going into college, you have to push further. And maybe this might be that point. And that was the point where I realized like, okay, I can't, because what I was doing before then, I was just pretty much, I was really good at memorizing. I was really good at multiple choice tests, but this was an essay test. I was using flashcards, but just having that basic knowledge wasn't enough. I needed to know that stuff to the point where I could apply this knowledge to new situations. So I did come into office hours a little more, and I had to read beyond what he presented in class because a lot of things on that test were things that he didn't cover in the lecture. I was studying just from the lecture slides, I was just using flashcards. It was all memorization. I had all these parts, but I wasn't putting them together, and I wasn't able to apply them to a new situation. So that was the time where I realized like, oh, I have to really step up my game and do something beyond what I had previously used to do well in my other classes before. So again, I wasn't a 4.0 student. Heck, you can find my GPA on LinkedIn. And it's like, I mean, that's the thing is like there's often times where you have to kind of push through a really tough situation. But the great thing is that you'll come out better for this. And the other thing is like, again, that was exam 2. It's not exam 3. It'd be a lot more stressful and concerning if it was exam 3. But what I'm telling you is like, so this is the other thing. Even though motivation might be tough, you're allowed to have easy days. You're allowed to have hard days. Like if you even if you're like, okay, I didn't do anything today, maybe just try watching one video and taking notes. Even if it's just one video, even if it's a 5 minute video, that's something you did. You're allowed to have easy days, you're allowed to have hard days. Like if you've done any athletics, you know that you have on good days and then you have some off days. Or if you've had done anything or just anything in general. I mean, that's the thing is your brain's the same way. You can have good days, you can have off days, you can have days where you need a mental break. But when you have those good days, take full advantage of that as well. So that's what I want you to keep. So again, don't give up, and that's the worst thing you can do. I mean, there is going to be probably there probably will be adjustment at the very end of the grading scale at the end of the class, but the worst thing you can do is give up, because if you tank on the last exam, there's only so much that it can be done. So this is why try to hang in there. And again, even if you study just one thing or just one vocabulary word, or even if you take a quiz and get 20 out of 50 on it, that's still 20 points. That's still something you learn. So even doing something is good. I mean, if you can keep a schedule, great. But be kinder to yourself. If you're having a tough time that day, take it easy. Save your energy for the next day. So yes, I know. Hang in there, okay? I believe in all of you who are really trying to push through this. And don't let you're not defined by your grades. You're not defined by one test. You can bounce back. That's what I'm getting at there. So I'm hoping to do this for all of you, all right? I'm trying to drum this up and get all of you to the finish line, okay? And if you think you're having a hard time and you just like this is too much, I mean, I think the withdrawal date, but there are exceptions. I mean, I support whatever your decision, whether you want to continue, whether you want to drop. So just whatever you do, all right? So this is me. I'm trying to do this to everybody right now.